One summer evening, my friend Jake and I decided to escape the city and head to the breathtaking Pine Ridge Mountains for a weekend camping trip. It was a spontaneous decision, driven by our desire to disconnect from the chaos of everyday life. We arrived at a secluded campsite surrounded by towering pine trees and the soothing sound of a nearby stream. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the landscape as we set up our tents. Jake, an experienced camper, pitched his tent in record time, while I struggled a bit longer. Once our campsite was established, we gathered firewood and started a campfire. As night fell, we roasted marshmallows and shared stories under a star-filled sky. The warmth of the fire created a cozy atmosphere, and we felt completely at ease. After a hearty meal, we played card games, laughing and enjoying the peacefulness of the forest. But as the night deepened, an eerie stillness enveloped the campsite. The sounds of the forest seemed to fade away, replaced by an unsettling silence. Just then, we heard a faint humming coming from the darkness beyond our campfire's glow. I paused, straining to listen. The humming was soft yet distinct, echoing through the trees. "What do you think that is?" I asked, my curiosity piqued but my heart racing. Jake shrugged, trying to shake off the unease. "Probably just some wildlife, let's not worry about it." But worry crept into my mind as we continued our games. The humming persisted and I felt a chill run down my spine. Then suddenly, a large stick crashed down near our campsite, making us jump. It didn't fall. It was thrown. "Hey, who's there?" Jake shouted, trying to sound brave, but I could hear the tremor in his voice. We listened as footsteps retreated into the darkness, accompanied by more humming. "That's it. We need to pack up and leave," I insisted, panic rising in my chest. "Are you crazy? It's pitch black out there. We'll be better off staying put," Jake replied, clutching his bear spray. Reluctantly, I agreed, but we decided to take turns keeping watch. I crawled into my tent, trying to calm my racing heart, while Jake stayed outside with a flashlight and his book. Hours passed, and I was startled awake in the middle of the night by the sound of the tent zipper. I rubbed my eyes and peered out, thinking it was Jake waking me for my shift. Instead, I saw a shadowy figure looking into my tent. "Jake?" I called out, my voice barely a whisper. There was no answer. I quickly unzipped my tent and rushed to Jake's. "Jake, wake up! Someone's out there!" I shook him, panic flooding my system. He blinked in confusion and jumped out of his sleeping bag, instantly alert. "What do you mean someone's out there?" he asked, grabbing the bear spray. "I swear I just saw someone," I said, my voice shaking. We stepped outside together, the night air cold and heavy with tension. The campsite was eerily quiet and the fire had burned low. I glanced around, scanning the darkness for any signs of movement. Just then, the humming returned, this time closer. Jake and I exchanged worried glances, realizing we weren't alone. We huddled together in his tent, the bear spray in hand, listening to the unsettling sounds surrounding us. As dawn broke, we hurriedly packed up our gear, eager to leave the haunting experience behind. The once beautiful mountains now felt ominous. It's been years since that night, but I can still vividly remember the fear that gripped us. We learned that nature can be beautiful, but also unpredictable. And sometimes it's not just wildlife you have to worry about in the great outdoors.